Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to United by Juno, the United fan page. And today we're going to do the analysis of Manchester United versus Newcastle United. But before we get into the analysis, please like the video, it really helps us out, and subscribe to the channel. And obviously, hit the bell so that you'll know when we will be posting a new video. As previously stated, we are a United fan channel that will, in the beginning, just be doing analysis of all the Manchester United games. But as time goes on, we'll do live posts and we'll discuss transfers and news and everything. So support the channel and help us grow, and we'll grow together as a community. Anyway, let's get into the good stuff. The analysis of the game. Newcastle, they started the game off really well. They were pressing us high, they were pressing De Gea, they were pressing our fullbacks and our centre backs. And United was struggling quite a bit with it for the first 20 minutes of the game. If you were watching, like they had a bit of a gap in the midfield. The midfield seemed a bit stretched, but because of the fact that United was struggling with the press, it didn't really weaken their team. And obviously, Newcastle works hard, and they obviously got back when needed. Um, if I'm going into the United team and the players, especially as I'll always do on this channel, I need to give honourable mentions to both Matic and James. I think the performance of the whole team was quite professional. Nobody really stood out, but for me, James had a really good game. He hasn't been having a really good season, but Ollie's obviously stuck with him. Ollie's a very loyal manager, and he obviously stuck with James. He brought in James, so obviously he's going to want him to succeed. And I think James played really well. And the thing about James is he's our only winger that is first and foremost a winger and not an inverted forward. If you watch Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, you'll see they they're not always up to the task of the defense. And they do work very hard, and I'm not saying that they don't do it, but James, it looks like natural to him. Like you can see he's a natural winger. And then the only thing I'll say about James is that he needs to sometimes cross the ball early. I think his timing of his crosses aren't always great. I don't know about his quality. I never saw, well, in today's game, I never saw a quality cross. It was decent, but it didn't wow me. But I still think that doesn't matter. I think the timing of the cross is more important. If I'm looking at Matic, I think, especially with Pogba missing, I think he had a brilliant game. He was pinging the ball around the field, not all the time, but when he had the opportunity, and his positional sense was great. I just think we really need a player like Matic. We need to buy a younger player, somebody in that CDM role. Ollie's crying out for it. The team is crying out for it. It's up to the Glazers to get the deal done. If I'm looking at a player, the first player that comes to mind is Ndidi. Although I don't know if Leicester will sell him. Our scouting network is quite great, but I'm obviously not part of the network. And off the top of my head, I think Ndidi will be a great signing. He's a lot younger. He has more energy. Something that Matic really lacks is energy, but his positional sense and his reading of the game is quite brilliant. If I'm looking at the rest of the team, I'm going to talk about Rashford first because Rashford was my man of the match. He he never went missing in this game as he has been doing for the past few games. He's been missing. Actually, Rashford's like a roller coaster. Some games is there, some games is not, but he's always gonna have a moment of brilliance. But it's better when he's in the game and has a moment of brilliance instead of when he's not in the game and has a moment of brilliance. Martial, Martial's been struggling, and he struggled today as well. He held the ball up well a few times, but he lost the ball as well um, when they were quick on him. And also, there was a couple of crosses that came in from James. Well, it was maybe only one or two, but I think Martial's always waiting on the penalty spot. But sometimes he needs to get into that front post and just try and get a scrappy goal. If Martial starts getting scrappy goals, his confidence is going to build, and I think he's going to become the player that we would like him to become, but at the moment is looking a bit far fetched. And obviously, Greenwood's going to develop, and United might even look somewhere else. There was talks about Martial being sold at the end of the season, especially if Cavani extends his contract. So Martial really needs to step up his game. Fred had a decent game. He again tried to shoot from outside the box and it didn't come off. And he lost the ball a couple of times, but Fred's energy that he brings to the team, when Fred's not there, you can see it. And that asset of Fred, his energy, it's almost like it's unmatched sometimes. In some games, like we just can't do without him. If he's on the bench or he's not even with the team, you can notice that energy just lacking in the midfield. And then who haven't I really spoken about? The defense. The defense had a decent game. I would have liked Eric to have played instead of Lindelof. I think Lindelof had a decent game. They had moments where they had to do work, but overall, especially in the second half, United dominated. But I would love to see the partnership between Eric and Maguire flourish because I think that is our best partnership, as I said in the last video. The fullback, Shaw is at that stage where he has set the bar so high and he's keeping it there. And I think it's almost like as we're watching the game, it's almost like we're not noticing how well he's doing anymore because he has set his standards so high, almost like Bruno, and we'll only notice it once it drops. On the other side, Wambasaka had a decent game. He got up the field a couple of times. I think he definitely needs to improve in that aspect. But as you know, going backwards, Wambasaka is a beast. Nobody gets him one on one. So Maximus, he got in, but I don't think he got in by Wan-Bissaka. It was more when he drifted inside, and the goal scored by Sir Maximus. It's hard to blame anyone, but the one thing I've noticed about United is they don't get to second balls quick enough, and Maguire is the most at fault for that goal because he headed it back into the run of play. He just had to flick it on, or he did it over the poles, out for a corner. But he did it back into the run of play and with his back to that section of the play. And he obviously didn't know what was there, and the players didn't know he wasn't do that. Although they should have been away, because United to second balls, I noticed it more than not just on that one occasion. We always slow to it. Well, that's my analysis of the game. Rashford's my man of the match, definitely. It's good to see that he was in the game, as I said before, and he scored the goal from a moment of brilliance. I mean, he ran it from just just outside the halfway line, and yeah, he it was just a moment of brilliance. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video. Let's try and get to 5 likes. The last video, which was my first video, was only on 1 like. Let's try and get to 5 likes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We really want to grow this channel, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I post a new video. The other thing is I also stream on Twitch on a Thursday, sometimes on a Saturday, and on a Sunday morning. It's Monday and Thursday evenings. However, if United's playing, I'll stream the Wednesday evening. So I really appreciate it if you guys also check me out there. I'll leave all the links in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.